and the ancestors are looking out for us. Todd Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown lesson.
Young
TV. When I get off of this, I'm finna finish up on this other tape I got coming out. Hopefully we'll have that out by today or tomorrow. And that's gonna be another part of history. It's called How Tribes Turned into Gangs. And that shit is fire. The How Tribes Turned into Gangs, that shit is fire. It's 50 minutes long. I might break it into 2 parts. It talks about how Raymond Washington got took out by COINTELPRO, because we end up, through the Freedom of Information Act, we end up getting into the archives and finding out that Raymond Washington and Tookie Williams them was in the FBI COINTEL reports. And so we found out that why they the COINTELPRO operations took out Raymond Washington and they set up Tookie Williams. Mostly because the overall is because they considered the Crips to be a black militant group, and they was out to stop black militant groups. Now you might just say, "Oh, the Crips black militant," because they criminalized the Crips over a certain amount of time using COINTELPRO tactics, right? Right. Shout out all my you know what I'm saying, my deuces, 5 Deuce, Hoovers. Shout out Crips around the world. Now when I say, now people saying, "Oh, Young Other representing gangs," nah, man, that Crips is a tribe. Now let me explain, because we got the FBI reports and files on Tookie Williams and Raymond Washington, and the tapes about to get ready to come out. So after this, it'll be no more where they say the Crips is criminals, right? Because you got the Hoover criminals. They changed their name to criminals after Raymond Washington got killed, but we'll get into that too. But Raymond Washington didn't smoke, didn't drink. He barely drunk, and he didn't smoke, and he didn't do drugs. So he kept a level head. Keep that in mind. They consider, according to the FBI files, they considered Raymond Washington to be equivalent to Freddie P. Hampton in Chicago. They considered him to be like another Freddie Hampton, but he was but more militant, and you're gonna see that in the videos of how they considered Raymond Washington as a militant guy. And then when him and Tookie came together, they made the Crips a big black militant group. And then you talking about not just niggas that, a whole bunch of niggas that marching through neighborhoods, 300-400 people. They were like the Black Panthers, because you got to keep in mind, Raymond Washington was influenced by the Black Panthers. he grew up and going to the breakfast programs with the Black Panthers. So when the Black Panthers got took down and dismantled by COINTELPRO, the whole organization in Cali, because Cali was the main Khalifa land was the main front ground. Most of the black communities got left to fend for themselves, causing the gangs like the Avenues. That's who Raymond Washington came out of, the Avenue Boys, with Craig Manson and it was a couple more other guys that was a part of that organization, but he broke off and became the Baby Avenues. Then they later on became known as the Crips. And there's several different stories on how they became known as the Crips, but just get this. Raymond Washington was first set up, at first they set him up for armed robbery and then put him in jail 5 years. While he was in jail, they used the dismantle crew and start infiltrating the different sets and causing them to go against each other. So by the time Raymond got out, he couldn't stop it. And then, make a long story short, the COINTELPRO ended up stealing one of the Crips called the Hoover Against the Crip cause and going over and shooting Raymond Washington out of the Crip car, the Hoover Against the Crip cause, causing a war to start between the East Coast, which is the East Side where Raymond was from, and the West and the Hoovers. Right? So let's see who's trying to get up in here. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Yeah, so they started this thing between the Hoovers, but like I say, they consider Raymond Washington to be like Freddie P. Hampton, and that they consider him, the Crips, to be like the Black Panthers, even more dangerous because they consider themselves as outlaws. They didn't give a damn about the Constitution, none of that. They moved as an outlaw tribe on the land, these Crips, right? So, and another part that comes in 69, 71, when they had the meetings at St. Andrews Park, well, Tookie Williams is supposed to fight Raymond Washington because Raymond Washington back then, all he did is work out. He didn't smoke, like I said, he didn't drink, rally, you know what I'm saying? And then he worked out all day and boxed and trained in boxing. So back then in Cali, it was about catching the fade. It's what they call it now, but back then they call it knuckling up. It was about knuckling up. And Raymond Washington wanted to be the baddest guy in town as far as with the hands. So he worked on his hands all day, every day. And then he worked on lifting weights. And he gained a reputation for knocking people out. They was calling him Baby Iron Mike Tyson back then. They was calling Lil Raymond Baby Mike Tyson. He was about 5'8" and about 211, by the way, 211 pounds. A young dude knocking grown people out, right? Going around knocking grown ass people out, right? Back then, at about 16, 17. Okay? So he ended up, like I say, breaking out from the Avenues, starting his own the Baby Avenues. And so he ran with his little crew, and he used to go around town to all the other gangs, and he wanted to see their leader because his whole thing was, once I knock your leader out, and anybody else want to step up and see what's up, or else, after I knock your leader out, y'all could join on with me. So he went around knocking everybody's leaders out. And to make a long story short, most of the gangs started to join on with him, with the Baby Avenues. And then so talk was going around town that he's the baddest guy around on the East Side. But then this one old man sitting over on the chair that don't really say nothing. He said, "Oh, y'all, you ain't the baddest guy in town. There's this other guy on the West Side. His name Tookie, Big Took. He the baddest guy around, right?" So rumors went around that Took and Raymond was the two baddest guys around, so they scheduled a fight. And they were supposed to meet up and fight. And everybody, man, this was gonna be like the Rumble in the Jungle. Everybody in the whole South Central LA was meeting up at South Andrews Park to see Tookie and Raymond Washington. And keep in mind, in his files, we break down Tookie life too. Tookie was pretty much doing the same thing that Raymond Washington was doing, except Tookie wasn't really onto the gang banging thing or having a gang. He had a clique with him, people that he grew up with, like Big Jack and them and all them, and Mouse, all them, right? But the whole thing was Tookie thing was he worked out all day, and his whole front room was nothing but weights, and all he did is pump iron and work on his hands, right? And then when he get through doing that during the evening time, he would go around looking for people to fight. He loved to go around and beat up gang members. That was his favorite thing, to beat up people that was part of a gang, especially their leaders. And then once he beat their leader up, they asked him, "Do you want to join, take over our gang?" Because it's kind of like a minion thing, right? They follow the baddest, back then it's like a minion thing. They follow the baddest, evilest guy, or the baddest guy with the baddest hands. So once Tookie go over there and beat their leader, they wanted him to be their leader, but Tookie didn't want to be their leader. Make a long story short, Tookie name got around town too known for knocking people out with one punch. You know what I'm saying? Like caving people chests in, knocking them through walls and shit, slamming niggas on the ground. Like he was beast mode, right? And so that got around town, and then that's how the old man put it into the ears of the people that was talking about Raymond was the baddest guy around, and then that's how they made the meetup, right? Well, when they met up, they talked, they saw each other, and they instantly when they seen each other, they got this thing where they just had this smile, where they liked each other, like, you know, like he cool, I'm cool, so they didn't even fight. They just ended up hooking up and pretty much joining their team together. That's when Tookie became part of the Avenues, Baby Avenues, which later on became the Crips, right? But like I say, so Tookie became the leader of the West Side Crips, and Raymond became the leader of he was the leader of the East Side Crips, and they pretty much joined on together. Now they said that it was this other dude that was in Compton, because they was in LA, right? But it was another dude that was in Compton named Bully. Now you might be familiar with the character Bully because Ice Cube, the tech character Debo in Friday, comes from this dude that used to live in Compton named Bully. And Bully was a bad dude, man. They say Bully was terrorized Compton all the way until he died, right? Well, for a long time, right? Until somebody smoked him, I think. But because back then they didn't really use guns. You had to fight, right? And somebody said that they would get a whole check to see Bully fight Raymond Washington or Tookie. But to make a long story short, on that part, because I just wanted to give you a build-up story to how Tookie and them met. And then once they met and started the Crips, the Raymond, you gotta keep in mind, these guys had the same mentality. Raymond had the same ideology of strategizing and militarizing a tribe on the land as the Black Panthers. He took his whole structure from the Black Panthers. He used to have meetings like the Black Panthers. The Crips was having breakfast programs. They don't tell you about their part. The same thing that the Crips was also in their community. If a dude jump on a girl and they call the Crips, it's the Crips, just like the Black Panthers. All the policing of the neighborhood, the Crips did all the policing. The Black Panthers did the policing of their neighborhood. The Crips did the same thing under the command of Raymond Washington. Some people say they didn't like Raymond because he said he didn't let nobody. Like one girl said, she lived across the street on 76 from him. She said that he didn't let nobody else mess with us, but he messed messed with us. I guess like he kept them like in check. Did bully them or something like that, right? So a couple people that said they didn't like Raymond because he was a bully. You know what I'm saying? And Tookie, they liked Tookie because he wasn't a bully. And Tookie was the guy that everybody went to go get. If you got bullied and got your money took, and you was from the West Side, all you gotta do is go get Big Took. Big Took gonna go over there and regulate on him. And he was looking for somebody to beat up, and so Tookie became like a superhero on the West Side of LA. Now we're gonna get into why the Cartel Pro set Tookie up too. Now this is why they was in fear of Raymond. They was in fear of Raymond Washington because they consider him just like Freddie P. Hampton in Chicago. And so they figured like if they didn't stop him, the Crips still got big as hell anyway, because that was their intentions after they got rid of they changed their game plan after they got rid of Raymond Washington, right? So their whole game plan was, they said that we got to stop Raymond, because if we let him keep going in the rate that he going, that he gonna have almost every black dude in America. And now that he hooked up with Tookie, which is his pretty much the face of the Crips. And let me give you this part of how they thinking. All right, so Tookie was Tookie was like up there with Arnold Schwarzenegger and them working out and shit. Like he was up there like competing, and he was getting on shows and shit. And he was real big good at the muscle building contest, right? And so when he got on TV, and then all these people seeing him, and they seeing this big giant of a dude, and how he just got this nice physique, and he got a big natural and unbridled sexuality. And he just up there flexing, and the girls holding on to him, right? And then they say, "Oh, he a Crip." He became like a superhero to young people, to young kids that didn't know no better about the Crips, even though the Crips wasn't criminalized at this point. These are guys that used to march through the community and pick up trash in combat boots. The Crips, like the black, they used to walk up, clear up the neighborhood. They used to beat niggas up. Raymond Washington wasn't with selling no drugs. He didn't even do drugs. He was against drugs. Raymond Washington, he was against drugs. They ain't gonna tell you this part. It's the part that they don't tell you. They want to just criminalize everybody. Raymond Washington is my cousin, right, by the way, and Tookie Williams, right? I'm a Washington. My granddaddy is Charles Washington, and my grandmother is Flo Williams, right? Flo Williams. I'm also kin to the Millers too. P. Miller and them down in New Orleans, and Tookie actually from Louisiana. The Williams, right? The Williams, it's a real deep story behind it. I'm actually doing a whole presentation on the Williams family. The origins of the Williams family, right? One of the Williams family is actually connected to the Black Hand. We'll get into that too. But that's the bad side. But so you gotta keep in mind, Tookie was built up like this superhero, so to say, in the image and eyes of the public, which is why they had to criminalize him in the eyes of the public, to take his image down, to tear his image down, because his image had got built up as this. When they started hearing about the Crips was the baddest guys around, this big dude Tookie, he knocking everybody out, he on TV, flexing his muscles, he swole, he got the girls. Man, everybody, he was like a big superhero, like a rapper, like one of these rappers nowadays. Everybody wanted to be a part of the Crips after that. It became, oh, we got to stop this organization now. We got to we got to humiliate this guy who got shine in the public eye, so that we could destroy that sequence that he created. And we got to take out this militant guy who's a Freddie P. Hampton type guy. And you know what they did to Freddie P? They shot him up, just like they did Raymond Washington. So when Raymond Washington got out and tried to reorganize the Crips, they didn't like that. They didn't like that. So they disguised the plan, like I said, to steal the Hoover's car. And come to find out, how we know that it was LAPD. And what happens is, let me tell you this part too. I think of his name in a minute, the chief of police. But what it is, in like 69 or 71, COINTELPRO tried to go out, right? But they didn't go out. They just started to assimilate themselves inside the police department in LA. And they set up an operation called Operation Crash. Go look up Operation Crash, because this is inside of they FBI files. Operation Crash. Right? Operation Crash is what took Raymond Washington out and set Tookie Williams up. Right? And a whole bunch of other brothers that could have been similar, could have been prolific in the game to take over the Crip game and guide them like in the same motion as the Black Panthers. They got rid of them too. But Raymond Washington was the main one. They had 24-hour surveillance on him. The Crash operation had 24-hour surveillance on Raymond and Tookie. Like I say, eventually they said the only way we're gonna be able to stop this guy, because the only way they were able to get Tookie is because Tookie had a lot of priors dealing with drugs and shit. So they was able to set him up, and these two dudes that really did the robbery, they just lied and said Tookie was with him when Tookie wasn't with him. They didn't want to see the evidence that he wasn't there. The thing with Raymond, the reason why they killed Raymond is because they could never catch him doing that, like a crime or nothing. They couldn't never catch him selling no drugs, because he didn't believe in selling drugs. They couldn't catch him doing nothing illegal. So it was like we can't get him and frame him on no charge. So and the way he moved in a stiff way. So they like only way we gonna stop this dude, we gotta kill him. And so like I said, they stole the Hoover's cars, and we know they stole the Hoover car, the LAPD crash operation, COINTELPRO new operation. It's because the dude car they stole, he was at the party with Raymond Washington's brother across the town. So he couldn't have been driving the car because he was at a party with Raymond Washington's brother across town. Yeah. So they went and stole the dude's car, drove it over there, and they could have had an informant working with them. They probably knew that Raymond Washington knew. So when he heard his name being called from the cutlass, he walked over. They hit him with a sawed-off shotgun. Boom, blew him back over the fence, right? And so they had to get rid of him because of that. Like I say, they considered him to be like the Fred Hampton of the West Coast. And then they had to they set Tookie up and they had to tear his image down because everybody wanted to be a Crip because of Tookie. He was like the face of the Crips. So once they tore his image down, they was hoping that pretty much destroyed the Crips, but it didn't. The Crips, and what they did is to create the gang wars in LA. LAPD, especially Darren Oaks, Agent Darren Oaks is the dude that infiltrated different gangs. He was going around infiltrating different gangs, and then he would join the 9-0s. And then he'd go do a shootout at the Hoovers. Boom, 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 boom. And then he'd be hollering 9-0. Got all they shit on, hollering 9-0, shooting out the window at the Hoovers. So the Hoovers say the 9-0s just came through shooting at us. And really it's Darryl Oaks, who's an agent for the crash operations in LAPD. And so now the Hoovers glowed up, go shoot at the 9-0s. And the whole war started between the 9-0s and the Hoovers. And they didn't never attend. They were homeboys at first. Then Darryl Oaks, the same nigga, he leave the 2 days later, he leave the 9-0s and then go join the 83rd Gangsters, Crips, right? Which is with Monster Cody and shout out Melvin, OG Melvin Foreman them started the 83rd Crips. Melvin Foreman them was with Big Tookie them when they first set up the Crips. He was one of the original OGs. And Melvin Foreman is one of the original OGs that set up the 83rd Gangsters, right? Gangster Crips. Right? But Darryl Oaks, Agent Darryl Oaks, joined their gang. They get into a fight with the 60s, right? The neighborhood car, right? Rolling 60. You got the 20s, 60s, 40s, right? So they get into it with the 60 car. And back then, it was just a knuckle up thing. And so they knuckling up. But Darryl Oaks go get a gun and shoot the other guy from the 60s that they fighting against and kill him. And then he disappear again to another gang, right? And now that starts a big ass war that been lasting 40 years. A war that been lasting 40 years where hundreds of guys that died on both sides because agent of the crash operation COINTELPRO infiltrated the different gangs to start wars between the gangs. Yeah. And hey man, I don't know for sure on it. I can't vouch for this and don't but we still doing research on it. We believe Sylvester was working for the CIA with Rick Ross now. Sylvester, who started the Bloods, who was Pyru, Treetop. I don't know if he was Treetop. I think he was just Pyru. And then the Blood spun out of that. And then that's when the Brims and the Brims, a couple more other ones, Fruit Town, all them, they came on later. But Sylvester, he was working for, and then he was going around smoking a lot of people and getting away with it. Sylvester, we'll do that on another breakdown. But the Tookie Williams and Raymond Washington, it's gonna be like what I'm telling you is more detail on the video. When you see the video, it's gonna break down the whole thing systematically about the Watts Wyatt, why the Watts Wyatt took place. Because like in 1803 is when they did the Louisiana Purchase. By 1885, they had moved most of the Ouachita natives off their land where they migrated to the west. That's how the Washingtons get to California. Right? Even though Raymond was born in California, but they began in the late 1800s after the Ku Klux Klan was chasing all the natives off their land. Go watch a movie called Buck and the Preacher. Buck was like the intermediary for some of the people who decided to sell, and they still chased them to try to kill them afterwards, the Ku Klux Klan. So that happened. So a big mock from between 1803 to 1970s, a lot of Nubians migrated from the Trail of Tears, the Jim Crow laws of the South. Jim Crow was the, whites eat here, blacks eat here, white pies only. You know what I'm saying? And so that's that connection. And then we get into the people, the Jim Crow laws, right? And then the people migrating to California. And then the chief of police at that time, I'll think of his name in a minute, it's in the video though, he started recruiting militant KKK people from Mississippi, Texas, and Alabama to come join the police force so that they can police the Nubians. And that's when they created the zone restrictions. Well, if you get caught outside of your community, the cops will beat you down and take you to jail, right? And the gangs still practice that right now. And that started with Jim Crow. It's called segregation. It started with Jim Crow. The gangs still practice Jim Crow law right now, and they don't even know it. When they talking about, you can't go over here, you can't go over there. That's what the police did when they would catch black people outside of their community in California. They would beat them down, just like they did Rodney King. You know what I'm saying? Right? And so, like I say, that spawns the Black Panthers and other groups, the US organization, the Student Coalition with Steve, I'll think of that dude's name in a minute. They started different organizations spun in response to that, leading up to the tension rising so high of the police brutality. This sparks the Watts riot. The Watts riot. Right? After the Watts riot, boom, the Black Panthers come about. And then, boom, the COINTELPRO dismantled the Black Panthers through infiltration, illegal entries, falsified information, documents, they whole rundown. And so, yes, like I say, to make a long story short, Raymond Washington was a target of COINTELPRO and Tookie Williams. And probably ain't no telling who else, other gang members. Because they said the COINTELPRO set up them a personal, they set up a whole base in California right within LAPD just for Tookie Williams now and Raymond Washington. This is in the FBI files. And so, yeah, so all this information is about to get ready to hit the streets on my YouTube channel. If you want to check that out, I should have it out by tomorrow. If you might see it out tonight, just check with us. We just put something out just a minute ago to hold you off, just in case we don't have it out by tonight. And it's gonna be when you hear that, the storyline, you're gonna say, dang man, these people been like, I don't think Tookie Williams and them, Raymond Washington them even. I know. Okay, I know Raymond. Another reason why he got killed is he found out about COINTELPRO operations and the bump on the left north at the on the north gate, right? And how he found out that is when he went to jail. When they set him up he found out that somebody set me up. And so when he said, "Damn, why would somebody want to set me up?" That made him wonder, like, I ain't do this crime. Why would somebody want to set me up? And so that made him his mind started to wonder, okay, so this is bigger than me, Ben. This is bigger than me. Somebody bigger than me trying to set me up because I'm doing something that they don't want me to do. And then, so when he put it together, the Black Guerrilla family started passing codes to him and passing smoke signals to him, letting them know what was about the war on the land. Once he found out about the war on the land, then it came to him and he started putting all of it together. Okay, so these suckers out to me because they think that I'm a leader of the black militant group called the Crips. And he was, really. But they used the old conquer and divide, divide and conquer tactic to dismantle the Crips. And pretty much start a whole war between gangs using rogue agents to go around and do drive-bys the LAPD crash. It's called Operation Crash. Go look it up, man. Operation Crash. They say it lasts from 69 to 71, but it really went on longer than that. Because they just, every time that they would get busted on the shit that they was doing, doing shootouts and shit, they'd just change their name. It's called rebranding. A lot of people do it. Like a lot of people, they went out of business because they had bad publicity, right? And then they come back and change their name. Like Walmart and Kmart, same suckers. Or Family Dollars and Dollar General, same suckers. Or Dollar Tree, same dudes, same guys. So they rebrand. Just like his name was Diddy. I mean, his name was what? Puff Daddy. Then P Diddy. Actually, Big gave him that name. Diddy is a monkey. A name of a monkey. Yeah. But you're gonna see that they criminalized even Jeff Ford, Larry Hoover. They in the FBI files. As far as under the gang unit. There's several other guys that's mentioned. Oh yeah, they were running Operation Colors. They mentioned of Operation Colors, and they got a lot of shit blacked out in there. But we know based on what's being said is that Operation Colors was to spread all the gangs to other states, and so what they did is they passed a law in California to where when you get caught as a gangbanger, instead of sending you to jail, they exile you to another state, right? So a lot of leaders of gangs got exiled to other states. And what did they do when they got there? They set up gangs, either knowingly or unknowingly. Too Pretty Kenny got sent to Utah, and they set up the Salt Lake Crips. So the Crips got to Utah because Too Pretty Kenny, the leader of the Corner Pocket Crips, he got exiled out of Cali to Utah. Big U of the 60s, when he got exiled to Chicago. And when he got to Chicago, he set up a Rolling 60 Crips in Chicago. Tookie Williams at one point got exiled before they took him down the last time. He got exiled back to Louisiana, where he set up Crips in Louisiana. Because he was from Louisiana. His mother had got on a bus. She was 17 when she had him, and he was 6 years old. That was 1959, and they left him, went to California. But he ended up getting exiled back to Louisiana, starting the Crips, and he went to jail out here for a run, then went back to California. But keep in mind, COINTELPRO operation at the North Gate, and about why they made this a big thing. Because you got to understand, they lift their guys up. They criminals in history. They lift them up, give them like Jesse James, who really was robbing Big Mama's banks. He was robbing Native American banks. He wasn't robbing white folks' banks. And he was a Knights of Templar working for the U.S. Corps to fucking try to rob us blind. They've been trying to, man, these guys are nothing but criminals. They real live, man, I'm telling you. Real live criminals, bro. I'm telling you, man. The United States Corpus is real live criminals. And they thought that we would never figure out the game, but we figured out the game now. We pretty much got you laced on our page, especially the last maybe 15 or so tapes we put out dealing with the breaking down how they set up this we're not in Kansas anymore, we're on Pandora type of situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man. So you gotta know what's going on, man, and stay live, stay lit. And we're gonna be breaking down Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover too. COINTELPRO operation setups. We already broke down Noble Drew Ali's setup already with the COINTELPRO operations, and Marcus Garvey, right? And we broke down a couple other guys that we broke down. I think Fred P. We broke his down. Who else? Nah, I'm thinking about Huey P. Who else we got? So we're gonna be doing the breakdowns on, like I say, because Chicago, right? The Stanky Onion is like a mecca, and it's like really the starting point to where these COINTELPRO guys really started coming at us hard. With Noble Drew Ali, right? Starting with Noble Drew Ali. and then working their way up all the way until they said they dismantled their organization in '69. But that's a bunch of crap. Because how you dismantle and we still see the same tactics going on from the same organization that said that they dismantled themselves. They still doing witness harassment because they did it to Doc. COINTELPRO operations couldn't have been over because they did it to Doc. They rigged this court case. They withhold evidence. They did witness and tampering, witness harassment. They broke his First Amendment right. They did the Brandy violation. We about to get rid. Hey, I'm telling you, the niggas that we about to put out some shit, pretty much breaking down everything they did to Malachi and pretty much how we can get him out. The AI gonna tell us how to get him out based on all the shit that I'm gonna give it to. They gonna give us a route. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna talk much on that. Yeah, man, I got let me show you. And I probably got like 5 more. I gotta put them in. I'm so busy, man, because it's just me and my boys, right? Okay, here we go. Let me show you. Watch this right here. See, I'm putting this how many new books I got. Let me see how many I got in this file. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It's really more than this. The Conehead book. It's really more than this. That's why I got them in that file. They really right here in this file. Because all these are books. New books that I'm working on. Look how many books up in there. Look how many books up in there, bro. All of them are books, dog. Like, not all of them, probably like at least 2/3 of them is books. Because some of them just my notes to put together on the books. Like the power words. Like the tablets of Tammuz. I'm finna get ready to drop the first tablet of Tammuz. That shit there gonna be hot. The vampire book, I just wrote that one. You saw the video for that. Actually, the book is more thicker. So all these are books. And like I say, this right here stuff right here go with this one book. These are here different chapters from this vampire book. And then let's see. The 7 laws. I think that's yeah, so a lot of these is books right here that I'm putting together. And so I got about maybe 15 books wrote now. Like, not counting the other 8 that I had already wrote. So that'll be like probably like 20-some books. And I'm gonna drop them all when I'm about to get ready to move. So I'm gonna drop them all. Who that? Says Lil Trey. What up, Lil Trey? Yeah, so I'm gonna drop all these books, man, like when I move. So I'm still working on getting that together. I gotta get them all in PDF on. It says Big Meech. Who's next? Yeah, hopefully Doc, right? Hopefully Doc and Larry and Jeff Ford. Nobody let Big Meech out, right? So Big Meech, it's a lot of things that he got, like as far as like the immunity on like the time frame. But the real reason is because it's about he got money, right? Money talk, bullshit, you know the story. So what happens is when he got to 30 years, he couldn't use none of that money to put up to fight the case, and he could have got out. And if anybody would have gave him any money, they could have been they would have been connected with the conspiracy, right? With the RICO. So RICO kind of like hard to beat because you can't use your own money because they want to take all your money you got. So if you got any money, they gonna take it. So you can't really beat the RICO, right? So what happens is he did probably like about 20 years or 30, maybe 25 or something like that already, right? And say he only got like 5 years left, right? And say how much is the feds gonna make off for holding them in there for 5 years? What they making, like 30,000, 40,000 a year? Say 50,000 at the max because he Big Meech, right? So you do that right there, right? That's $250,000 that they gonna make off of him being in jail. Now let's say now his son, is doing the Big Meech thing, and the BMF brand now is making millions of dollars through the 50 Cent thing and other avenues. So they got legitimate money. So now they're able to they're able to produce legitimate money and can show where they got it from, even though they might have been seen doing some sneaky shit in the background, telling 50. But he can show where he got that money from. So now Big Meech got legitimate money. So instead of keeping me in jail and you make 200,000 or 250,000, let me give you 500,000 to let me out, and you make double the money. So I'm not his crime. His charges wasn't like what they call like a violent charge neither. They really never saw him even selling dope. They really just saw him spending money. That's really the only thing they ever caught him doing, spending money. And hearsay. But he knew he can't beat the RICO. You really can't beat the RICO, especially if they got a nigga saying, "Oh yeah, he sold me 2 keys." And the nigga saying, me saying, "Man, nigga, I ain't even know you. I ain't never even seen you. How the fuck I sold you 2 keys?" It's just like, yeah, your word against theirs in the court. Big Meech said that. The nigga that said that Big Meech sold him 2 keys, he said, "Nigga, I never even seen you before. Like, I ain't seen, like, who are you?" You know what I'm saying? That it was that type of thing. So because they rigged those court cases to steal everything you got. You ain't no way you really beat a RICO because they got it rigged. It's always rigged. The feds is rigged. That's why they always win, because 90% of the time, because they rigged the court case. They tamper with witnesses. They beat people up. They rough people around. They say, "I'm going to give you 10,000 years if you don't tell on you, everybody, your mama, and your dog." And niggas go for it. And they still don't get out because they ain't how the feds work. Yeah, instead of when you tell, so they gave you 10 years, they're going to give you 10 years. If you didn't tell, when you tell, we'll give you 8 now. You know what I'm saying? The feds, the killer clowns, they don't really got no mercy. When they got you by the balls, they hold you by the balls. Like vice script style. You know what I'm saying? When they got you by the balls, I'm telling you. So it's like that. And like I said, we're gonna be dropping that tape about the Raymond Washington Tookie FBI files, I knew it was some, man, because I knew it was something. I knew it was like them cats were just took out because of gang banging and they were bad guys. It's something to that. It's just that after they say the brother Raymond didn't smoke or drink, and all he did is work out and try to be like a militant type guy to really try to have the Crips like the Black Panthers, like the police they own community, keep the police out of their community, stop the police from beating on the old ladies. Because back then, if an old lady just so happened to wander outside of them red lines they had, she got beat down by the police. They didn't care if she was an old kid. If you was black, a so-called black person back then, you got beat down. They didn't give a damn. And that kept people in their own neighborhoods, to where they had to build everything in their own neighborhoods. And the gang still practice this shit to today. It's Jim Crow. The gang still practice Jim Crow subliminally without even knowing it. When they say this is my area, or this is my neighborhood or my territory, and you got to stay inside the lines or stay on your side. That's Jim Crow. Man, look, the tape I'm about to put out, when the gang members watch this is the end of the gang. This is the end of a gang on gang. And I don't think it's going to be the end of gangs, but the tape that I'm about to put out is going to really wake gang bangers up. And they going to see that, damn, we've been getting played the whole time by COINTELPRO operations. Another part of Operation Colors. Another part of Operation Colors, like I said, was to spread the gangs around America. And another part is going to talk about that was in that FBI file is Operation Crack. Operation Crack Rock. In Operation Crack Rock in 1969 to 1971, they say, they ran an experiment at UCLA on monkeys with crack cocaine. And what they did is they gave them, they would give some monkeys crack, and then get the other ones, don't give them a genetic brand of some shit, and then they would put them into a pen to see how, and test them to see how they react. And they said that you're gonna hear all this in the files. That to sum it up, they said that this one that smoked the crack would rather hit the crack than eat food or hang out with his people. And it says that when you create a certain type of environment for the monkey that hit the crack, he gonna want to continually smoke the crack to escape his reality that he in. They came up with all these studies. Doctors did this research at UCLA, and so then they say, okay, we can use this as a weapon. We can use this as a weapon, and we can put it into the black communities, and then we'll stimulate an environment that will constantly make them want to smoke crack just to escape their environment. Man, these motherfuckers sick, man. I'm telling you. And so they had to get Big Tookie and Raymond went to sell them the crack, and Operation Push. Operation Push is 1981. Ronald Reagan them is once they got Big Tookie them off the street, they got rid of Tookie them and Raymond the same year. Now, how does that happen? Two of the leaders of the Crips get took out in the same year around the same time during Operation Crash. Look, March they shoot and kill Raymond. Then in August they arrest. No, it might have been in August they arrest. It might have been March. Yeah, that's right. March they arrested Tookie, and then once they got Tookie off the streets, about 3 months later they come and kill Raymond Washington. Yeah, about 3 months later they got to get Tookie off first. Then they got Raymond because, like I say, Raymond was a little harder to take down because he didn't do drugs or really do crime or nothing. He really was just a militant type guy, just like Fred Hampton. And the thing is, the same thing was with Fred Hampton. They couldn't really find nothing on him to really set him up or frame him because he wasn't into no drugs. He was just a real political type guy. And so, yeah, they get just like the Malcolm X thing. When Malcolm X getting killed, the same week or so over in Nairobi, they killing DePinto, the nigga that was helping them get his speech together. That's how these guys work. They like to get killed 2 birds with 1 stone, man. I'm telling you, that's how these guys work. These COINTELPRO guys. Go look, if you don't believe nothing I'm saying, go look up Operation Crash and type in Operation Crash FBI files on Google, nigga. They tell you most of the shit right there. You can put it together. Operation Crash, and they said it became known as the gang intelligence, keyword, intelligence unit. Because they had to stop these niggas, that's what they call, from being militant. The Crip, man, just imagine. All them Crip niggas, man, it was like 200 of them when it's 100 and 200 of them, right? All these niggas did is work out and hit weights all day. So everybody swole, cuz. Everybody big niggas like, you know how Big Took was? Big Took wasn't the biggest dude. It was dudes bigger than Big Took that you don't even know about. Like Jamil, to me, Jamil was wider than Took, bigger than Took. It was a lot of big niggas, man. Big old OGs, right? Operation Crash. Go look up Operation Crash. Operation Crash is what is new COINTELPRO operations, which encoded themselves in LAPD to take down the gangs. Because gangs are really tribes. Do this for me. Go look up the word tribe. Then go look up the word gang. And then put them side by side and look at the correlation. Matter of fact, we already did it in the video for you that's going to come out tomorrow. I already did the correlation of how really Washington is Washita. It's connected with the Washita people. And Raymond Washington was a natural born chief on the land, either knowingly or unknowingly. But he did carry himself as such when you hear the documents of how they were saying that, damn, he don't drink, he don't smoke, we can't find nothing on him. Because these guys, their whole thing is they want to find some dirt on you so they can use that as leverage. Well, it was hard for them to find dirt on Raymond Washington. All he did is pump iron, work out all day, and hold meetings to how they can militarize the people on the land, militarize all his people on the land. And he went expanding his territory by he'd go up and find the leader of another gang and say, hey man, let's fade. And if I knock you out, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is, right? Your people join on with us. And that's how his whole plan was to set up the Crips like the Black Panthers and pretty much overthrow the government. He was going to overthrow the government, overthrow the fraud on the land. So you can put Raymond Washington in the same boat with Fred Hampton. I'm telling you, man. That's why he got shot. That's why he got killed. None of his people killed him. They were scared. Every Crip ain't no Crip gonna shoot Raymond Washington. That would never happen. No Crip shot Raymond Washington. Every Crip in California love Raymond. Same thing with Big Took. And then they had with him and so the Crips and Bloods kind of like this. Yeah, they were outlaw tribes on the land. They were outlaw police, pretty much. Crips was supposed to stand for, they say, community restoration and progress. So the whole, like I say, the original, when you hear the FBI files, they didn't like Raymond Washington because they said that he comes from that Black Panther era and that he got the same philosophies as the Black Panthers, except these guys were more aggressive. They were more aggressive, like they were more more active. They call it getting active in Cali, right? They were more active. Like as far as their community go, like really like you know what I'm saying, getting rid of the busters. And like I say, man, after this video that we about to put out, it's a historical video. This video right here that I got. It's called let me show you. No, I don't want to show you yet till it's done. But you're gonna see it on YouTube probably tomorrow. It's gonna be 2 parts. Each part is 25 minutes apiece. You watch part 1, you get the first dialogue of what led up to the Watts riot, because they got that in the files. And they talk about that it was like over $40 million or something in damages. Maybe it was more than it, right? But this got the communities got burned down were all Black-owned businesses. So we thinking that the Watts riot was staged, just like they used the COINTELPRO used the same tactic they used in Greenwood, the Black Wall Street, where they staged this white girl saying that some black dude whose name was Dick Rowland, right? Dick Rowland was an agent for the COINTELPRO. So Dick Rowland, they were staged so they could burn down Tulsa, Greenville, Black Wall Street. Same thing happened where they staged an event where a cop, it's called a crisis event. They staged a crisis event where a cop act like he kicked a black pregnant lady. This spun the Watts riot, and then just so happened all black businesses get burnt down that were pretty much getting notoriety, kind of like Black Wall Street.